Gentlemen, we continue on the third roster update for NBA 2K23. What I'm going to do in today's video is prepare you for tomorrow, because it comes out every single Thursday, well, every other Thursday, and I'm going to cover all the ones that I think need massive changes. If I don't mention a player or your team, it is because I think that, yes, maybe they deserve some changes, but nothing crazy or massive. So that's all I'm doing in today's video. If you like that kind of content, please join the pack and subscribe. Let's get it, man. Starting off with the Philadelphia 76ers, and I think Joel Embiid needs to be a 97 overall. There's actually a couple players I think need to be a 97 overall. The race for the best player in the NBA is tighter than I think it's ever been in NBA history. There is no clear number one in this league right now at all. Yes, I think Giannis is a 97. Yes, I think Curry is a 97. And I also think Joel Embiid is a 97. I know he's missed a lot of games, but in the last 5 games that he has played, he's averaged 39 points a game extremely efficiently. There's no denying Joel Embiid's one of the best players in basketball. It's like a non-debate. And I think that there's no argument to say anyone's above him. Maybe people are even with him, but not above him. I have him as a 97 overall. Also for the 76ers, I have DeAnthony Melton +2. There's been a lot of players missing a lot of games for this team, but DeAnthony Melton has been here averaging 22 in the last 5 games. He's in the 80 overall club for sure, For the Milwaukee Bucks, we have Brook Lopez. I mentioned him a little bit in the past video. I think he needs a +3. He has been the second leading scorer on the team in the last 5 games while averaging 4 blocks a contest. Excuse me? That's insane numbers for Brook Lopez. He has absolutely transformed himself and is in Defensive Player of the Year conversation ever since those games. To me, it is a non-debate. Brook Lopez, probably an 84. Yeah. So for the Chicago Bulls, I have DeMar going to the 90 overall club. The Bulls have been such a disappointment this year. It has been tragic for the Bulls, except for DeMar. He's been consistently out here dropping 30 points a game plus on good efficiency. He's been fantastic. 90 overall. It's crazy how he's 33 and hasn't lost a step. It's just a shame about the team that he is on. Is just struggling. And he's always been mediocre at defense, which is also an absolute issue, right? No doubt. But besides that, he's been fantastic offensively. For the Boston Celtics, this has been the best team in the NBA by far. Jason Tatum absolutely deserves a 95 overall rating. He has one of the best players in the NBA, even in MVP conversation. But Jaylen Brown needs his damn flowers. He is in the 90 overall club without question. He has been consistently dropping 25 a game. He's been an amazing scorer. He has not lost a step. He doesn't show any sign of weakness. I don't know why he's not in the 90 overall club. There's nothing you could tell me. It's been 3 years of this argument. It's time. This is the best team in the NBA. He's been the second best player, putting up 90 overall numbers. There's nothing you could say that says Jaylen Brown isn't a 90 overall. It is time for him to get this rating, and I'm excited to see it finally happen in the next roster update, because it should happen. For the Clippers, absolutely Norman Powell. Back here at a 76 overall? Nah, bro. So Norman Powell's interesting because we know he's averaged 19 points a game on 2 different seasons. We know what he can do offensively. But when he came to the Clippers and Kawhi and Paul George came back, it was kind of a question mark because, you know, these guys are going to getting 25 a game. What is Norman Powell going to do? The beginning of the year, he's been pretty mediocre. But lately, these last 5 games, he's been averaging a lot. I believe he's the leading scorer in the last 5 games. So without a doubt, to me, it's time to put him back in the 80 overall club. He is the 3rd best player, and rating-wise, it should show that. Now, whether or not he can do that for an entire season is a different conversation, but we need to see that change now. For the Miami Heat, Bam Adebayo. Let's just paint a picture for the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler is getting older, and Bam is entering his prime. So, of course, these 2 ratings are about to get a lot closer. Bam has been averaging the most points while being the best defender and the anchor of the team. Well, you could argue Jimmy Butler's an as good defender, but still, Bam's been an amazing defender while averaging the most points and rebounding a lot. It's a no-brainer to me. I'd argue he needs to be in the 90 overall club, but I'm going to say a +2 for him at an 88, and I think that's a good number to be at. But I would not be shocked if he goes even higher. This team is supposed to be decent. You know, this is a team that made an NBA Finals, and it's not very different like since then. So they're supposed to be good, and Bam playing like this is a good start. For the Hornets, Kelly Oubre Jr. So I know this team sucks, and I know that they just do very poorly offensively, but Kelly Oubre Jr. has been averaging 25 points on good efficiency in the last 5 games. He's been the leading scorer. I think he's an 81 overall as the 2nd best player, and I think he is clearly the 2nd best player behind LaMelo Ball. But then again, it doesn't even matter because the team is so bad that it might not matter. But Kelly Oubre should be the 2nd best player, at least rating-wise to me. For the New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson. I'm going to say put him at an 87 overall +2. He's been averaging the most points on the team. He has been averaging the most assists on the team. He has the best assist to turnover ratio on the team. And he's not a bad defender. He actually plays good enough defense. This team still is not great defensively, and there's so many problems with it. RJ Barrett's been terrible. Julius Randle's been mid. But Jalen Brunson, at least you could say that he's worth the money that he got, and this team failing is not his fault, for sure. 87 overall. The Los Angeles Lakers. This team has been struggling. Well, the thing is, they're playing better. But when everyone plays on the court at the same time, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook play at the same time, they struggle for some reason. They just lost to the Pacers the other night, blowing a lead. It's been a weird team. But Anthony Davis is not the reason for it. He has been averaging in the last 5 games 31 points per game on 17 rebounds and 3.4 blocks. He is a 94 overall to me, a +3. And I'd even argue that we're getting to the conversation that he is better than LeBron on the team. Yes, LeBron's been putting up good numbers, but he has been atrocious at defense, like a liability on defense this season, that I wouldn't be surprised if they end up tied by the end of the year as best player. So for the Orlando Magic, it's been a pretty hot debate. Bull. He's been playing very good, dude. It's funny. I've already talked about him a little bit, but I've mentioned before when he was on the Nuggets, it's like, this is clearly a player that if you gave him minutes, he would thrive. And the Nuggets were scared to give him minutes. And then he goes to the Orlando Magic. They gave him minutes, and now they're starting him. Dude's averaging like 3rd most points, the most blocks, one of the most rebounds, has really good efficiency, like one of the best efficiency in the NBA. Yeah, dude. I know he's not averaging a lot of points, but like he's not averaging a little points, right? And he's been super efficient. I think he's an 81, tied with these two players. Behind Paolo. Paolo's obviously the best player on the team, but Bull should be tied as the 2nd best player on the team. And I wouldn't be surprised, given more time and more practice, he's going to end up as the 2nd best player easily, to me. For the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic also deserves a +1 as a 97 overall. So that means I have Joel Embiid, Giannis, Steph Curry, and Luka all tied as the best player in basketball. And I believe it is the case. Luka is, I believe he has the best stats in the NBA, like just in all categories, like added up together. He's been the best player in basketball. Sure, the defense isn't there, and sure that this team is not winning, but this team also is just not constructed very well, and yet they're doing well, or at least decently, because Luka Doncic is carrying this team so damn hard. The team sucks. Luka Doncic is not the reason for it. He's been amazing. I don't think he can win MVP if they're a really bad team, like regular season wise, but in my opinion, he's probably first in MVP race in terms of stats and individual play. For the Denver Nuggets, I have Jamal Murray +3, assuming he's healthy. So when he's been healthy in the last 5 games, he's been the 2nd best player on the team. Now, we know Jamal Murray as a 21 point per game scorer when he was healthy. We know how good he can be. He needs to go up. He needs to go up to like an 80, I think, to an 84 overall to start him off, and if he keeps playing well and stays healthy, it's probably going to go higher. This Nuggets team is legit, and if everyone's healthy, they could be contenders. For the Indiana Pacers, I have Benedict Mathurin +2, tying him as the 2nd best player on this team. I know that's an 83 overall, that's tying with Paolo, but his efficiency and the amount of, like, he plays very little minutes. He's a 6-man while averaging the 2nd most points on the team. He's so good, and he's efficient. He's so good, it's not even funny. He's going to be a very, very good NBA player for a long time, you can already tell. I have him as an 83 overall, tied as the 2nd best player on the Indiana Pacers by far. For the Raptors, to me, OG Anunoby, Pascal's been injured, so assuming Pascal stays injured, OG Anunoby is the best player on the Raptors. He's been the best defender on the team. He's been in Defensive Player of the Year conversation, and he's averaging the most points in the last 5 games. There's no reason why anyone should be above him besides Pascal, and even then Pascal, it might get close. That's how good OG Anunoby's been. It's impressive. They're going to need him because this team's been inconsistent, especially Scotty Barnes, but OG needs to go up. For the Phoenix Suns, I have DeAndre Ayton with a massive upgrade of +3, making him the 3rd best player on the team, and I'd even argue he needs to be tied as the 2nd best player on the team with Chris Paul. I personally believe that. DeAndre Ayton is amazing right now, averaging 14 rebounds in the last 5 games, averaging the 2nd most points on the team. Chris Paul, either injured or when playing, has been atrocious. To me, I don't see how DeAndre Ayton isn't tied as the 2nd best player behind Devin Booker. Now, I've gone on a rant on this team before, so I will not go on it again. I'm just going to tell it straight up. The Portland Trail Blazers. Jeremy Grant, I'm going to say +5. And Anthony Simons also +5. This team is going to be very good when Dame is healthy. But Anthony Simons has been an 85 overall for a year now. It's about time he gets his massive upgrade. And Jeremy Grant has been the best player on the team when Dame has been injured and has been one of the better power forwards in basketball right now. To me, there is no argument here for why Jeremy Grant and Anthony Simons are not both +5, and they've been so consistent that there's no argument against it. No, they need to go up. For the Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson's back, baby. +2, second best player on the team. He has been extremely consistent from the three-point line. He has the second most threes shot on the team and the best field goal percentage from 3 in the last 5 games. He's been amazing. We hope we can get this Klay for the entire season and the defense to get a little better. But in terms of shooting, he's back, and he needs to be the second best player on this Warriors team. And finally, the Wizards. I'd argue that the big three all need to go up, but more than anybody, Kyle Kuzma needs to go up +4, I believe. He's been amazing. He's averaging the most points in the last 5 games. He's been efficient. He's been doing this since last season. Last season, he was averaging 17, and then in the second half of the year, he was doing very well, and then this entire year, he's averaging like 22. He's been amazing. There were so many questions about him after the Lakers, and he's kind of shut everyone up. He's showing that he can be that guy. I'm impressed with Kyle Kuzma. I think he needs to be tied as the second best player with Porzingis. And even then, this whole team might go up even more because they're doing very, very well so far in the last 10 games. Let me know what you guys think about all these rating changes. What do you think needs to happen? What did I miss? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.